and you're live. And so we are live, and you just saw there was a software glitch. I can't blame it on Rumble. It's me. I didn't click a button. But let's get on with the show.
Breaking news into the Fanfare newsfeed.
All right, so first thing I got to do is because my microphone, too. Again, this is my fault. All right, so got some breaking news from you from Trump. It's Saturday afternoon, but the man is continuing to work, so we're going to go ahead and work along with him. So hope you guys can all see this. He made he's got a couple posts that I want to cover. This one here is, I am pleased to nominate Charles Kushner of New Jersey to serve as the U.S. ambassador to France. Let me just check. Everyone can see me. Turn the lamp on. Yes, everybody, can you all see me? Yes, we can see her in here. See you. Yes. All right, so you have on a Razorback red shirt. That's me. You vocal timing is off. I don't know what happened, but it's working. All right, so here we go. Back to what we were talking about with Trump. All right, I am pleased to nominate Charles Kushner of New Jersey to serve as U.S. ambassador to France. He is a tremendous business leader, philanthropist, and deal maker who will be a strong advocate representing our country and its interests. Charlie is the founder and chairman of Kushner Companies, one of the largest and most successful privately held real estate firms in the nation. Now, many of you might recognize that name. Charles Kushner is Jared Kushner's father. So expect the media to do full-on freakout. At this point, it's absolutely going to just blow their minds that Jared Kushner's father is now going to be the ambassador to France, which is fine with me. It means that Trump is definitely closing ranks. He's not allowing people who aren't part of his inner circle to even sniff the White House at this point. Whatever happened with Zuckerberg yesterday coming down, I'm sure there were a lot of people buffering and telling him, be careful with this guy, he's a snake. And the fact that he came down to kiss the ring is one thing, but we can't be sure what he's all about. So this guy here, who Trump is talking about, being the new ambassador to France, is Jared Kushner's father. He mentions him down here. His son Jared worked closely with me in the White House, in particular on Operation Warp Speed, criminal justice reform, and the Abraham Accords. Together, we will strengthen America's partnership with France, our oldest ally and one of our greatest. All right, so you got that. Charles Kushner, ambassador to France, Kush position, no pun intended, Kushner, Kush position, and that he's named him. Now let's look at the second post that he made today. The second post that he made today is about last night. He says, I just had a very productive meeting with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau of Canada. Now understand, he goes, I just had. This was posted today at 12:42. So yesterday was dinner, and today was let's roll up the sleeves and get to work and start talking about things. I had a very productive meeting with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau of Canada, where we discussed many important topics that will require both countries to work together to address. Come on, get to it. Like the fentanyl and drug crisis that has decimated so many lives as a result of illegal immigration, fair trade deals that do not jeopardize American workers, and the massive trade deficit the U.S. has with Canada. I want to put a star next to that, because everybody who was talking about Justin Trudeau coming down here, every single discussion that I saw about Justin Trudeau was solely about the tariffs. That's all everyone wanted to talk about. Tariffs, 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 tariffs. But in this one piece here, he explains something different as well. He says, in addition, it made it clear, where is it? The fair trade deals that do not jeopardize American work and the massive trade deficit the U.S. has with Canada. Meaning, we need to see more equity here. We need you to buy more of our stuff than basically dumping your stuff into the United States. So that's a huge component of this discussion they had. I made it very clear that the United States will no longer sit idly by as our citizens become victims to the scourge of the drug epidemic caused mainly by the cartels and fentanyl producing pouring in from China. Too much death and hardship. Prime Minister Trudeau has made a commitment, doesn't say what the commitment is, to work with us to end this terrible devastation of U.S. families. We also spoke about many other topics like energy, trade, the Arctic. Winky winky. The Arctic, huh? You guys been following any of the stories about the Arctic? You should. Some eye-opening stuff if you want to listen to him talk about the Arctic. All are vital issues that I will be addressing in my first days back in office and before. Very interesting. Very interesting as I read that. Everyone, like I said, is focused on tariffs, but he dropped a couple nuggets in there, and the man puts his stuff out there almost like breadcrumbs. He expects you, go look this up. Go look up the trade imbalance for yourself so you know how bad it's been tilted towards Canada and not for America. Go look up what's going on in the Arctic. He just mentioned it. I can't really say because people here don't like it, if you know what I mean. They don't like us to talk about it. But you should. You should arm yourself with that knowledge. So he makes two different posts today. One, he names an ambassador. Number two, he talks about the meeting today with Trudeau. So yesterday he flies in. They have dinner. They hang out with Elon and Dave McCormick and Cantor. He was there as well. You've seen a picture. I think you've seen a picture. But there's a picture of them all sitting at the dinner table. And Howard Cantor is right to his right. Then comes Trudeau, then Trump. And then around the table, Doug Burgum was there. And also Dave McCormick, the new senator from Pennsylvania. So it was a smiling. Everybody was smiling. Nobody looked angry. They were having a good time. But the media just doesn't like what they're seeing. The media can't take the fact that what Trump is doing is good for America.
We're waiting to learn details of incoming President Donald Trump's meeting with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. They dined at Mar-a-Lago last night.
And they were there with members of their inner circle. CNN's Elena Treen with the latest this morning. Well, Victor and MJ, President-elect Donald Trump hosted Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau at Mar-a-Lago for dinner on Friday evening. And really, this is a very important moment, really a flashpoint of...
That's the picture I was telling you about right there. The lady in the red dress directly at your 6 o'clock, I believe that's Dave McCormick's wife. The man sitting next to the lady in the red dress, that's Dave McCormick, the new senator. And if you go around counterclockwise, the other lady in the red dress is Doug Burgum's wife. And then Mike Waltz is the guy next to Trump. That's his wife. Then Trump. Then Trudeau. And then there's Mr. Cantor right next to Trudeau. So those two guys, the fact that you see Cantor sitting so close to Trudeau and Trump, that's where the action's happening. Right there. Doug Burgum, he's there to talk about energy. But Cantor and Trump are the ones who are the two of them are the tariff hawks.
Sorts in their relationship. It came just days after Donald Trump had issued that threat to impose massive tariffs on both Canada as well as Mexico if the countries did not do enough to crack down on drugs and migrants coming over both the northern and southern borders, respectively. Now, we actually did hear Justin Trudeau address that threat Friday morning, hours before he flew to Florida to meet with Donald Trump. And he said that if Donald Trump were to carry out that threat, that it would be hurting Americans and American businesses. I'm going to read for you some of what he said.
Notice how, and you're going to see this in a couple clips here, what the media does, they immediately go to the point, the one talking point that they have, to try and tell you how Americans are going to be hurt. Oh my God, if they put tariffs on these people, they never discuss the benefit of the tariffs. It's amazing to me. We've talked about it many, many times. Here we are, a month removed from the election just about, and they're still not changing. All they can do is talk negative, negative, negative. And they're going to keep getting what they're getting until they can start telling people both sides. Hey, listen, yeah, you may have to pay more for guacamole. Oh my God, my guacamole might be $1 too much. Oh yeah, yeah, but you get Florida and California avocados. Oh, yeah, I guess that'd be okay then, right? Yes. They don't tell you both sides. So they are basically, again, as they've been for years, gaslighting Americans.
Said, quote, "It is important to understand that Donald Trump, when he makes statements like that, he plans on carrying them out. There's no question about it." He continued, "Our responsibility is to point out that he would not just be harming Canadians who work so well with the United States, but he would actually be raising prices for American citizens as well and hurting American industry and business." Now, again, Donald Trump and Justin Trudeau do know each other quite well. They worked together during Donald Trump's first term, and Trudeau's team was really a key factor in negotiating the North America Free Trade Agreement, more commonly known as NAFTA, during Donald Trump's first administration as well. Now, we also know that shortly after Donald Trump had first issued that threat earlier this week, Trudeau and Donald Trump got on the phone. This is what the Canadian Prime Minister said about his relationship with Trump. He said, quote, "This is a relationship that we know takes a certain amount of working on, and that's what we'll do." Now, I'm sure that conversation around how to have this negotiation and how this will be carried out moving forward was brought up at that dinner, but we're still waiting to learn more details of exactly what was discussed and the specific nature of some of those conversations.
This is Justin Trudeau after he met with Trump.
It was an excellent conversation.
How are you talking about your relationship with Donald Trump?
He was smiling. He was smiling. Now check this
This morning, we're learning more about the meeting overnight between President-elect Trump and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, amid reports that Canada may be considering retaliatory tariffs against the United States.
You notice right away how they begin to slant. And that's one of the things I wanted to point out to you guys today is words they may be considering. Since they just said they have no idea what these two men talked about. They have no idea what transpired at the meeting. He's making all of this up. And by saying a qualifier like saying they may be considering, a trade war, you're basically giving yourself a qualifier because you have no idea what these two men spoke about. The only thing you have is what Trump wrote on that Truth Social post. You don't have any clue. But you want to make the American people feel as though this is a wrong thing to do. And I'm going to show you some today that's going to absolutely blow you away when you see some stats on this.
ABC's Jay O'Brien joins us now from Mar-a-Lago with the latest. Jay, good morning.
Yeah, Whit, good morning. Overnight, President-elect Donald Trump having an unannounced dinner at his Mar-a-Lago club with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Trudeau making that surprise trip to Florida after Trump threatened 25% sweeping across-the-board tariffs on goods from Canada and Mexico until both countries stop what Trump claims is a flow of drugs and illegal migrants. Now, incoming...
Okay, did you hear his words there? What Trump claims is a flow of illegal migrants, can I say that now, and fentanyl. Trump claims it. We don't. We're the media. We don't believe that there's, tons and tons and millions of newcomers. Not us. It's what Trump claims. They don't even understand how to speak fact. Yes, there are millions and millions and millions of people who've crossed the border, either the north or the south. There are tons and tons and tons of fentanyl that have crossed the border, either on the north or the south side. Those aren't Trump claims. Those are facts. But don't let facts get in your way.
Pennsylvania Senator David McCormick posting on X a photo of the dinner, saying that he's excited to shake things up in Washington with Trump. And you can see at the table at the dinner Trump's choice for Interior Secretary and Secretary of Commerce, and Trudeau bring along with him his public safety minister. Trudeau telling reporters before he left that tariffs would hurt not just Canadians but Americans too. Canada is America's second largest trading partner, second only to Mexico. Those two countries together account for $1 trillion in trade a year. And tariffs could include rising costs on everything from cars to electronics to fresh fruits and vegetables. And also, there's concerns this morning that Canada and Mexico could implement their own tariffs.
So there's no benefit for the United States. None whatsoever. They don't even talk about stemming the tide of the newcomers. They don't even mention all the fentanyl. Those are just claims Trump has made. But by the way, you're going to pay more for avocados. Your guacamole's going to go up. It's insane how they posture things, because people, unless you have the discernment, you don't question it. And I'm not talking about you personally. I'm talking about people who watch the news. People who watch the news don't even understand that they are being gaslit. They're telling you this is a bad thing, whether indiscriminately or otherwise. They are telling you that tariffs are bad. We don't want tariffs. It's going to have a trade war, and things are going to be so much more expensive for you. Okay, so that's what you're saying could be the downfall. What's the upside? I mean, you're a reporter. What's the upside of these tariffs? Is there none? Do we have nothing to gain by shutting the border? They don't. I didn't edit this. This is specifically their words. There are no upsides for anything that Trump is going to do.
Response to Trump if he follows through on his threats. Now, Mexico's president, who spoke with Trump just days ago, saying that she believes negotiations are still possible and that a trade war between the U.S. and Mexico can still be avoided. Rhiannon.
All right. Our thanks to Jay O'Brien there.
If a trade war ensued between Canada and the United States and Mexico and the United States, who do you think is going to win that? Not may win, not could win. Who do you think would win that trade war? I'll wait. It's not even a war. It would be an easy battle. It would drive them basically into eating dirt cookies like Haiti. The overwhelming amount of their economy is dependent upon the United States buying from them. We could never, if we decided we're never going to have another import from Canada or another import from Mexico, it wouldn't matter that much to the United States. But you wouldn't know that from listening to our media, who cares about Americans. We don't have any benefit in this. It's all downside. Trump said he's going to lower prices. Oh, you don't even know. These tariffs. What's the upside, man? Do you know? Do you even know? Do you know economics enough to understand what the upside is? Unbelievable.
David, so first, what exactly is a tariff?
It's very simple, Jonathan. A tariff is simply another word for a tax. If President-elect Trump follows through with his plans and puts it...
Let me stop, because he's not telling you what the screen says that they just put up. I didn't do this. The screen says a tariff is a tax on imported goods aimed at protecting local jobs and industries from foreign competition. The idea is that if foreign materials and products are more expensive, you'll buy more domestic goods. They put up that billboard. MSNBC put it up there, and the guy who's talking and the host never reference what's on their own screen. I guess maybe MSNBC viewers can't freaking read. It says it right there. The idea is if foreign materials or products are more expensive, you'll buy more domestic goods. I don't know if an intern got fired over this piece, but he's probably been suspended, or maybe they're going to go make him work for Joy Reid, because, oh my God, he should never have put this up for the point they're trying to make, because that's the actual truth. But it doesn't fit with what this guy is going to say.
A 25% tariff on goods coming in from Mexico and Canada. That will increase the cost of those goods to their American importers by 25%, just like any other tax would.
So other than an estimated $2,600 increase in prices per household, we have a full screen.
$2,600 increase in per household. And he puts this up, a pair of jeans before tariffs are $80. After tariffs, there's 96. A sweater is 50. Don't know where the hell he's shopping. And after the tariffs, it's 60. Smartphone is 500. After the tariff, 630. A car is 50 grand, but after the tariff, it's 62.5. Funny? Could you not buy a car from an American company? I mean, I'm just saying, could you not go find a car in America made by Americans, or even someone who's not under a tariff, that you could get for less than $62,500? You see, the way they're phrasing this is though that's what you're gonna get hit with. That car you're thinking, oh, it's gonna go up $12,000. You won't believe it. Well, what if I don't buy a car coming from Mexico or Canada? What if I bought, I don't know, a BMW? I don't know. What if I bought, something else? I have an option. I don't have to buy a car from Mexico or Canada, do I? I don't see that column that says, oh, or you could buy from America. Smartphone, 500, it's going to be 630. Really? I bet you can go to T-Mobile or somebody and get a decent phone. By the way, what the hell are you buying a smartphone for $500? I don't think that animal exists. Sure ain't buying an iPhone for $500 unless it's like 3 generations beforehand. Same thing with I'm a Samsung Android, and you're not going to buy that for $500. Or here's something else. If you can't afford it, don't buy it. There's nothing on here that says mandatory purchase. There's a difference between need, desire, and want. You see, right now, this is all in the I want one. Pair of jeans for $80. I know you can get a pair of jeans at a plethora of stores for under $80 if you choose to buy a pair of jeans. How about khakis? The posturing that they're doing, and the first thing he said without any reference, is that you're going to pay $2,600 more just because Trump wants to, play around and have these tariffs. Really?
Of some of the things here, a pair of jeans before tariffs, $80, 96 after the tariffs, a car, $50,000 before tariffs, $62,500 after the tariffs. And this is from the National Retail Federation Consumer Technology Association. So other than that, the immediate hit to the wallet, what are the potential long-term consequences of these proposed tariffs?
You mean the upside or downside? I'm still waiting for one of these reports to tell us but the upside.
Well, in the long term, it would make the economy less efficient. It would raise costs. It would basically be like throwing sand in the gears of the economic engine that we operate now. It would make the total size of our economy, our total gross domestic product, smaller than it otherwise might be.
How does buying an American product affect GDP, which is gross domestic product? What the hell are you talking about? If we're not buying an import, but we're going to go ahead and buy something produced in America as the option, how does that negatively affect GDP, gross domestic product? These people lie for a living.
Now, I should say this is the conventional or mainstream economic view of the impact of tariffs. President-elect Trump has a different view, always has had. He believes or professes to believe that the tariffs are paid exclusively by foreign countries. That's not the case.
He's never said that. Never said that. That's a bold-faced lie.
But that is his sales pitch for promoting the use of tariffs, which he believes, among other things, would promote greater domestic production at the expense of imports.
Interesting. Very interesting. So our economy would be screwed, but Mexico and Canada, who can't bring their stuff in here without being tariffed, they're going to be just fine. Here's a sitting member of Congress. She's going to tell you the same thing.
Well, Trump this week announced his plan to place 25% tariffs on both Mexico and Canada and 10% on China. Mexico says the tariffs could kill 400,000 U.S. jobs. What do you think about this plan?
Yeah, I think it is going to hurt Americans deeply. I think if he goes through with the plan, it's going to hurt American consumers, of course, most especially people on fixed incomes. You have the U.S. Chamber of Commerce saying it's going to increase costs for the average family in America by about $1,000. You've got the folks within the steel industry and the textile industry here in the United States saying this would be absolutely devastating for their industries. And so it's a terrible idea. It's been a terrible idea. We do not want a trade war with our closest trading partners.
So
I have a question. Since you saw, 2 or 3 clips here, I'm going to show you another one in a second. And this is something nobody even addresses. How much have we spent on the newcomers? What? Simple question, guys. How much has America spent forcefully out of your pocket for all these newcomers? Barry, don't talk about that. No, because that's a plus. If we don't spend all that money on newcomers, it doesn't come out of the pockets of Americans. Right now, what is the cost for what we've been doing by leaving all these newcomers to just come across? You see, if you're going to talk about the economy, if you're going to talk about numbers, if you're going to talk about the cost to the American people, you also got to look at that cost too, dearie. You have to make sure you're comparing apples to apples. They don't even want you to know that there's a cost on this side. So what's more expensive? How much did we all have to chip in? What was our fair share for harboring and facilitating all these newcomers? And then let's compare it between, a higher avocado price. Anyone in the news want to talk about that? Anybody want to bring that up? Understand comparing apples to apples? Or you just want to complain that guacamole might be more expensive? Well, just let me show you. Where is that? Okay, I think I got it right here. And let's go ahead and look at this real quick because it's kind of important. The cost of the border crisis thus far. And this is put together by the Budget Committee of, the United States national government. The cost of the border crisis as of May of 2024 is 150, let's just round up, okay? 151 billion. I'm going to let that sink in. There's a whole bunch of stuff in here. You could go through it all the way down and look at it and everything else. But 151 billion and counting, because it ain't over. So if it cost me, collectively with you, $151 billion to facilitate, house, do everything else for these newcomers. We had to give. We had to make sure that we kept doing all this for the newcomers. 151 billion. How does that compare to what these people are saying? $1,000 per person, $2,600 per person. What people are you dividing that from? Working people only? Households? Because when you do this number, based upon how many households there are in America, households, not just people, every household in America, yours, mine, everybody, is already spending $2,000 a year. So if the tariffs are going to cost, from one person's estimation, $2,600, if we don't got to pay this, you're telling me the net is $600 based upon your estimation alone. Because we won't have to deal with this stuff, right? Because you got to take that into account. You just can't say it's going to cost us an additional $2,600. You got to deduct that, or at least a big part of it. Sounds like a win for me mathematically. I don't know how you feel. You can probably look at it yourself and go, wait a minute, how much are we spending? Yeah, $151 billion. Not a single newscast mentioned it. Why is that? You have to ask yourself, why are you not giving both sides of the story? Why are you telling us this is going to be more expensive? And when they're telling you this and that are going to be more expensive, those are options. Those are choices you specifically will make. If you decide to walk into the grocery store and buy pre-made guacamole or Mexican avocados and it costs more, you could always say, nope, not buying it. As far as I know, I haven't seen anyone call me or send anything in the mail. I haven't had the option not to pay for the newcomers. You let me know if you've had the option. Let me know if they sent you something, say, yeah, you can opt out of your tax dollars going to the newcomers. Because one's an option based on choices and personal choices. The other one is forced. Every single year, you guys are ripping off America for the tune of $151 billion, and you're telling us that a guacamole dish is more important. There's something wrong with our media, and there's something wrong with our government. This is the biggest no-brainer ever. And I'm not just saying it because it's Trump. If we can save this kind of money, or at least start saving it, start dropping it down, why wouldn't it be a good investment to hit people with tariffs? And that's not even counting lives. That's actual cash. You see, we know there have been many, many people who have had lives impacted. The ones who survived attacks, not in addition to the ones who perished. What's the price on those? Do you think maybe you would be okay paying for extra on guacamole if Laken Riley would still be alive? I don't know what number you put on that, Mr. MSNBC and CBS and NBC. What's the number? What's the price on that? You see, I'm trying to make a point, and I hope it just came to you and you went, oh, crazy, this is nuts. There is no downside. There is no downside from the tariffs because everything they spoke of is an option. Nobody's grabbing your arm, tightening it up behind your back and saying, you better buy this more expensive guacamole, you better buy this more expensive car, you better buy these more expensive clothes. Nope, nobody's telling you that. You pick it up and go, I'm not paying that, and move on. But none of us, not a single one of us can say, I'm not paying that. You have no choice. You have no choice what gets paid here. Nothing. You have no choice what gets sent to Zelensky. You have no choice, no voice. You shut up. We got to get more money from you. But I don't want to pay for that. No, it's not an option. No, the option, the only option, is to basically buy what you feel is best for you and your family. And having $151 billion taken out of our collective pockets, I don't know, call me crazy. I just don't think you should be forcing me to pay for these people. This is your mistake. Trump's the only one trying to fix it. You've done nothing for 4 years but just wave them in. Come on in. Do whatever you want. Oh, and when I post the Border Patrol guy's video tomorrow on Rumble, because I can't dare post it here, you're going to go, oh, hell no. It is so exposing. It will scare the bejeebus out of you. It will piss the bejeebus out of you. And you got these people posturing on television as though it's just, there's no upside. It's all bad. We're going to pay more for guacamole and jeans. Seriously?
Up where the New York Times kind of led us, it said the Mar-a-Lago visit on Friday, which was initially reported by the Globe and Mail newspapers on the basis of tracking Mr. Trudeau's plane, is intended as a direct effort by Mr. Trudeau to show that he has a plan to address Mr. Trump's border concerns and that tariffs should be avoided for the sake of both nations' economies. So he got on a plane and flew down to Mar-a-Lago for what? I mean, look, you do have people in Trump world saying, oh, well, this is just Trump sort of positioning and he's just posturing. He doesn't really mean it. I
don't think anyone in Trump world saying that. I think this man means everything he says. If he may not want to do it to you, hey, listen, it's gonna hurt me, it's gonna hurt you, but I'm gonna spank the hell out you. So don't think, for instance, he's not prepared to go through with it.
Wants to draw people out. Look, the man has a 1950s view of our economy, period. He's stuck in that time where tariffs was, for some reason, his thing. What do you, from Trudeau's perspective?
Tariffs in 1950 were Trump's thing. I'm pretty sure Trump wasn't president in 1950, so it couldn't have been his thing. Just saying.
What do you think going down there now will achieve for him that just keeping his behind in Canada and dealing with it?
I mean, you have to go and sit with them. There's no way around it. That's why I think when he got elected, Trudeau was like, oh, God, I got to go down and talk to him. He's the president of the United States. Right. I got to go talk to him. And I think it's just trying to keep that line of communication open. Trump wants to be liked, wants to be loved. And so if he can feel like Trudeau and others, Macron, this will go throughout Europe and the world, they gotta kiss the ring a little bit.
The tug of war on tariffs.
So basically, you got to come down and kiss the ring because Trump needs his ego stroked. This is our national media at this point. This is the insanity of what they have to say. And again, I showed you 4 clips or so. Not one of them mentioned the benefit to America. And the reason I post these clips, because if people just watch the news or they clip on, they don't understand how much they're being gaslit. They don't even realize that they're basically just doing this to you and just seeing what they can do to get you to don't pay attention. Trump bad. It's the same thing they did for the entirety of the campaign. Trump bad. Trump bad. Everything's fine. We got joy and stuff over here. But no, don't look there. That's what they're doing to people still.
Is already on, and I want to get your take on it. First, sort of where you think this may be headed.
Well, first of all, you can already feel, he's not even in office yet, and you can already feel the tectonic shifts happening on the world stage. And what Trump does, which is why he was so successful in his first term and why he'll be successful in his second term, is he employs a strategy of escalation dominance. So what he does is he signals to our allies or adversaries around the world that he's willing to jump to the top of the escalation ladder and dares them to follow him, but then he also offers them a way down the escalation ladder through negotiation. So he says to Mexico, I'm imposing 25% tariffs on you if you don't shut down the border, but I'm willing to talk to you and figure out a way that we can do this together. And they know that he's willing to do it, which is why she's calling him. This is why Canada is freaking out right now, because they know that he'll actually do this if they don't shut down the border. And I have a prediction for you. They're going to shut down the border. It's going to happen because they don't want 25% tariffs on everything that they send to America.
And what is really unsettling.
That's it. That is the nature, and that's where we are. Some people can see it and speak truly about it. Other people can't. Yes, it is a negotiation. It will continue to be a negotiation, and on and on and on. But bet your butt, you got until January 21st or January 20th. That's it. Right now, go to the press, run, complain. In fact, the Mexican president, she came out and said this. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum refutes President-elect Trump's border claim and said Mexico's position is not to close the borders, which, as ALX says here, so Trump got her to admit her position is open borders. I'm going to go ahead and bookmark some of this stuff, because right now the left is like, oh yeah, he's just doing this. It doesn't really mean it. You just watch what happens on January 20th. She's got 30, 40, 50 days to just, mull it over. He's thrown down the gauntlet. He doesn't have to make any moves. That's what these people don't understand. Trump is in a position right now where he holds all of the cards. Not some, all. You need me more than I need you. You want to call my bluff? Go ahead. Watch what happens on January 20th. And I do that. I may get pissed off and say, hey, you didn't want to listen, now it's 50%. What are you going to do now? And we're still closing the doors. So we're going to do both. We're going to charge 50%, and I'm sending my guys down to close the doors, so they're all going to be on your side anyway. You want to play that bluff? You want to bid into a pair of aces showing? Go for it. We'll wait. And she's counting on the media to basically run water, to carry water for her, to let the American people, oh, this is a bad thing, we shouldn't be doing it. Okay. But the media gleefully loves to play along.
About it is coming off of the election, those who have tried to act responsibly feel the pain of the loss. We didn't wake up after the election and think, oh, I'm upset because I was wrong. We're upset because we know we're right.
I told you, there's no coming back. There's no reaching across the aisle to these people. These people inherently think they're right. We're wrong. We're knuckle dragging troglodytes who don't understand that the world has changed and it's too late. But we just won in the landslide. Oh no, but you're wrong. You won, but you're wrong. I don't even know how that works. I don't know how you can get beat like she got beat and still go on television and tell everybody we're still right.
We're on the losing side of this battle. And so what does that mean for a responsible media, for a responsible electorate, for a responsible Democratic Party in this environment? The only answer is to double down in holding Donald Trump and his allies accountable.
Speechless. Although I'm speaking, so I guess I'm not speechless. Double down. That's what they want to do. You want to do what didn't work over and over and over again. That's your plan moving forward. Double down. Just keep the pressure on. We'll let these maggots know how much they messed up, but you didn't win. That's okay. We're still going to run three on 3rd and 1. We're going to run the ball right up the middle, and maybe one time we'll get a first down. But you can't. You got ass-munched. But we're going to keep fighting.
And double down on trying to present a democracy that represents all people, even in a losing environment.
What does that mean, to double down?
It means to keep doing what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I
think Einstein defined that. If you keep doing what you're doing, and the rest of it goes, you'll keep getting what you're getting. These people get paid a lot of money to go on TV and just talk gibberish. Double down. Keep doing what you're doing. Well, that means we're going to lose again, right? I'm all for it. You can keep doing what you're doing. But this is where they are. They're leaderless, and they bring people on television who say utter insanity like this. What do you mean, keep doing what we're doing? Have you seen the scoreboard? You looked up there? Oh, wow. Yeah, she got trounced. Oh, just keep doing it. The people will come around. You know those stupid maggots. They're garbage. They'll come around. You'll see.
I understand the autopsy report that you go through when you're losing, but let's not overreact to this. Again, you didn't come out of the election upset because you knew you were wrong. You knew you were right, but you lost. So don't change the fundamental values.
I'm going to have to look at the chat in a second, because y'all going to have to tell me, does this make any sense to you? Ignore the fact that you lost, but keep doing the stuff that made you lose.
Don't just say we're going to give equity to Donald Trump, which some people are doing. In the Democratic Party, in media, among the electorate, they're saying, I just give up. We're going to give him equity. We're going to give him parity to traditional American values. No, that's absolutely wrong. You can't do that. Forgive me for saying this. You can't go to Mar-a-Lago. You can't do it.
By the way, this is the same network that hosts, Morning Joe. So he's basically throwing shade at the lead show on their network. You can't go to Mar-a-Lago.
It's going to get me in trouble. You can't do that. You have to hold Donald Trump accountable for being wrong. You have to hold all of his allies accountable for being wrong. Even if that means you're in a losing environment and you're threatening your own liberty and your own, security as an American. You either believe that Donald Trump and Trumpism is wrong and is a threat to American democracy, or you don't. That's the environment. It's hard.
I can't even fathom what he just said. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever that somebody would tell other people on a television news network The shit that didn't work, you need to keep doing it and double down on it. But it didn't work. There's nothing that they can give the American people, I guess they're Americans, whoever watched that network, to tell them things are going to be better. Things are going to be greener. You're going to survive. You're going to thrive in this new economy. Nope, just keep doing what we're doing. We got to save democracy. Democracy looks like it's starting to work. Democracy looks like it was saved. I'm watching the field change in front of me. I'm watching him go after Mexico and Canada. I'm watching him put together administration that looks like it's going to be powerful. And y'all like just keep doing the same thing. Maybe that's why they're thinking about bringing AOC as a presidential candidate. Good luck with that. I'll be right back. If you see what's going on in the world right now and what may happen here in America, you may want to prepare and pay attention. You know that Lear Capital is a big supporter of this show. If you want to be protected in the event that things go off the wall, I advise you to look into buying gold and silver. We are all just one catastrophic event away from the value of the American dollar plunging. Do you know what's not plunging? Gold and silver. I'm telling you now, make sure that you have some form of your money invested in precious metals. Lear Capital will ship your gold or your silver coins directly to your house. It's not just a certificate. You can store them in your gun safe, or you can store them off-site in a 24-hour protected facility. It's totally up to you. But when things go crazy here, or across the world, the value of the American dollar is going to decline. It's inevitable, and it might not even take a war. We may do it to ourselves. And I mean, if the Federal Reserve plays around with interest rates, the US dollar will likely decline in value as well. Meanwhile, you'll see gold and silver continue to rise in value. If you call Lear Capital, they will take the time to educate you and answer all of your questions about gold and silver. Just give them a call at 800-601-5430 or go to Learberry, that's me, Learberry.com, to download your free de-dollarization report. You should know that Lear Capital is an American company. If you call them today, you'll be speaking with people right here in the United States. Now is the time to take action. Call 800-601-5430 or go to Learberry.com. And when you call, ask them how you can get up to $15,000 in bonus gold with a qualifying purchase. There's absolutely no obligation to buy anything. Just free information on protecting your hard-earned dollars with gold and silver. You know, when you think about it, you're actually not buying anything. You're simply going to be exchanging dollars for gold, moving currency. Give them a call today. Tell them Barry sent you. All right, back. All right, so what did all this have to tie into? And it's funny, I just saw a comment here. It says AOC for president, Democrats still selling the illusion. I posted about it today. I'm like, so all you're going to do, your plans moving forward are to bring out an even further left communist Marxist nut who also happens to be a woman, and you expect black and Hispanic men to come back to the Democrat Party. Black and Hispanic men who are going to experience, prosperity over the next 4 years. You expect them to dump that to go vote for another woman who's crazy. Good luck with that. Pretty much good luck for that. The globalists want to capture the world's money tree called America. Not everybody has the money to buy gold. I can tell right now that you're probably posting a comment on a phone or a computer. You can buy gold for less than what you paid for that phone or that computer. Just saying. Just saying. Let's see. Okay, I think it may be Josh Shapiro. Yeah, he could be a good run. Don't forget, Barry, show some love. Thank you very much. And AOC, they make no sense with their arguments. I think you have to be, at this point, some kind of mental midget to even listen to what they say and then think that you're actually getting a true story. I don't even think the people who say this stuff believe what they're saying. Now, it's interesting to me, because you watch me and you watch other people, the reason for these tariffs at all are to stop the amount of newcomers coming into the country. This is where we're going to get to that third rail stuff right now. Because everything he's doing in regards to these tariffs are to stop fentanyl and newcomers. Media doesn't even talk about that. They act like, what newcomers? I haven't seen a newcomer. Haven't seen any. You guys heard the story about the 2-year-old little girl just shows up, and then a couple days ago, a 10-year-old boy just shows up unaccompanied. Media on the left doesn't even talk about it. We've talked many times about the 300,000 plus. That legion. Nope, nobody ever talks about it. It's so bad I have to record interview and put it on Rumble, because if I put it here, they'd freak out and short circuit, which I think is going to change relatively soon. It has to. But we can't, as basically Trump supporters, forget what this is really all about. This entirety is all about the newcomers and the drugs and the damage and everything else that they're wreaking on America. That's what this is all about. Nobody wants to talk about it on the left. They just want to talk about your guacamole being more expensive. You cannot lose sight of what this is really all about. And so now I found something interesting. I'm going to go into the Tom Homan stuff here, because that's what these two are related. One's the hammer, one's the nail. Because now I got the hammer, which is I'm going to hit you with these tariffs, and then the nail is I'm going to send these people back. But you see, this wasn't just a Republican talking point. What happened in this world? Because the Democrats believe this.
So I think we got to have tough conditions.
Her voice.
Tell
is
people
so
to come out of the
low.
shadows. If they've committed a crime, deport them. No questions asked. They're gone. If they've been working and are law-abiding, we should say, here are the conditions for you staying. You have to pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally. You have to pay back taxes, and you have to try to learn English, and you have to wait in line.
All right, so that volume got screwed up, but that was Hillary Clinton. And in that piece, Hillary Clinton was saying, you just can't come here. We're going to charge you. We're going to put you in cuffs, and then you got to get in line, and you're going to have to pay a fine. What's happened in that short period of time when they were against it, and now they're all for it? Well, that and the fact of probably that their bank accounts got lined, and that they've got that globalist money to basically just keep pushing. And now it's terrifying them because Trump is going to be in charge, and he has named somebody who's an absolute pit bull. Tom Homan, this man, I'm afraid for you.
Well, incoming border czar Tom Homan tells us that he has been the target of death threats since taking on, accepting the new role under President-elect Trump. He joins us now. Tom, couple of things. Not had the chance to congratulate you on your appointment, your nomination. So my heartfelt congratulations to you. Second of all, I'm so sorry to hear that you and your family are going through this. What's your preliminary response to hearing that it's not unique to you? Other senior incoming officials are also facing threats today.
Well, first of all, I appreciate what Nicole just said, but I'll be honest with you, I have not taken this serious up to this point. Now that I know what's happening the last 24 hours, I will take it a little more serious. But look, I've been dealing with this when I was the ICE director in the first administration. I had numerous death threats. I had a security detail with me all the time. Even after I retired, the death threats continued. And even after I retired as the ICE director, I had U.S. Marshals protection for a long time to protect me and my family. And what doesn't help is all the negative press around the president and people he's putting in his cabinet. Me, I'm not in the cabinet, but, you know, I've read numerous hit pieces on me. You know, I'm a racist and, you know, I'm the father of family separation, all this other stuff. So the hate media doesn't help at all because there are some nuts out there that will take advantage. So that
I think this is when that guy was talking about double down and keep talking and keep doing everything you're doing. It's continue with the hit pieces, continuing calling everybody that Trump is associated with every name in the book, try to dig up as much crap about every single one of them, dig deep, dig hard, find out what's going on, and then expose it, even if it was in high school. We don't care. Just keep talking.
It doesn't help. And I thought we're beyond that after the election's over, that we're going to get beyond that. But, you know, I will now start taking a little more serious after I just heard what's happened the last 24 hours. Up to that point, I was the attitude that if I'm not home, my family's not home. And they're not home right now, but when I return home, I'm going to bring them home. But I was of the attitude lately that if you want some, come get some. Because, you know, I've been through this many, many times. And but, again, what I've learned today, I'll start taking a little more serious.
Do you think that there's a role you can play once you're in position and come January 20th? Do you think there's a role that you can play with your leadership and seniority in the second term of President Trump's administration that can help to sort of bring an end to these kinds of threats that we've been seeing now, as you mentioned, against?
I'm not a journalist, but that might be the stupidest question I've ever heard. And the look on his face is like, what are you talking about? We are going to be fighting a war. I want, as I've said many times, all of you need to understand, you may not be seeing it, but we are going to be fighting a war. It's already begun. These people are nuts. They're out there shaving their heads. They're making videos screaming into the screen. These people are not well. And so when Trump takes office and whatever security they can put together and how they can trace phone calls and everything else, understand something. The average person is not going to pick up a cell phone, find Tom Homan's home address, and do something. The average person isn't capable of that. If I said to you, go ahead and go get a burner cell phone and scramble the signal and make it look like the call's coming from Sweden, and then if the longer they track it, then make sure it's coming from the Netherlands, you're not going to know how to do that. So the fact that when they trace these phone calls and they see that the people are jumping a signal all over the world, that should be quite indicative of the fact that these are trained nuts. Not just nuts, trained nuts. These are people who are working for other governments, maybe Antifa, if I can say that. This isn't your ordinary nut. Now that's why he's saying, I'll take it serious, because now he's looked and they're like, yeah, the signal's bouncing all over the place. This wasn't some lone wolf in, Idaho that decided to go, can I have Tom Homan's address, please? Yeah, I'll wait. No, that's not who it is. These are professionals. And their jobs are to scare you.
Republican officials and Democratic officials.
Well, I think the first role is not to be intimidated. I'm not going to be intimidated by these people. They're not going to silence me. Look, I'm going to do this job. I'm going to do this job because it's an issue of national security. So you're not going to shut me up. I'm not going away, and I'm going to do this job, and I'm going to continue talking to the American people why it needs to be done. I think under the Trump administration, I think we're going to be very transparent, because the big issue, right, securing the border and doing this deportation operation, we're going to be very transparent. We're going to tell the American people exactly what we're doing, how we're doing it. So we're going to control the narrative, and we're going to educate the American people why this is necessary. You can't, on the heels of a historic illegal immigration crisis where 9 out of 10 of these people enter the country illegally will end up with an order removal because they simply don't qualify for asylum. There has to be a big deportation operation. That's the laws of this country. And if we go through this whole process and 9 out of 10 get an order removal from a judge and we don't remove them, you're never going to fix the border, because we'll send a whole message to the whole world. You can enter the states illegally, it's a crime. You can even go to court or not go to court and get an order removal from a federal judge, and you don't leave, and we're not going to make you leave. You're never going to solve the crisis on the border, and it's just not about illegal immigration. When you overwhelm the Border Patrol, like they've been overwhelmed for the last 4 years, that's when the fentanyl comes in and kill 250,000 Americans. That's why sex trafficking is up 600%.
Okay. One of the things he said there that I want to touch on, and when he talks about the narrative, a narrative is usually something that you're trying to twist the truth, and by twisting the truth, you're saying your side of the story. That's not what they're doing at all. They just won't talk about it. It's like it doesn't exist. There's no narrative on the left about this stuff. They just don't talk about it. They will never mention the name Laken Riley. They're not going to talk about it. To them, these are just people you're picking on. They don't even use the word illegal. It's never spoken. It's removed from your vocabulary because everybody that's here basically has the same rights. That's the narrative. Narratives are BS. This guy is telling people the truth that they have to go. And the left won't even discuss that there's an issue. There's no problem. Oh, we got a broken immigration system. Actually, we don't. Actually, it's quite clear. You either come and apply a certain way or you don't come. And that's it. But what we keep getting from these people over and over and over is a denial. And that denial is based upon, well, I don't know what it's based upon because I've been trying to wonder, why is it so important for these newcomers to be prioritized over Americans? What did we do? What did we do as an American people where we're no longer looked as a priority? They need to be, I mean, you see it. You see these mayors freaking out. You see governors freaking out. Everyone's talking about the newcomers. Oh, we can't do that. We can't get rid of them. Why? Why don't you want a tumor taken out? Why? None of them. Again, that's a question none of them will answer. You got liberal friends? Just ask them. Why should they be allowed to stay? What's the reason? They don't talk about that.
That's why we have a record number of people on terrorist watch lists crossing the border. That's why you got 31% of women getting sexually assaulted making that journey. Children die in the border almost every night. So it's important that we be very transparent in what President Trump's going to do. We're going to secure the border. We're going to have a deportation operation, and we're going to work really hard to find those 300,000 children. That's what we're going to do, and we're going to tell that story.
Do you think...
After what I heard when I talked to the border agent, which you'll see in the video tomorrow, they are never, and I do mean never, going to find those 300, 400, 500,000 children. I hate to be the one to break it to you, but it's a fantasy. They are. I'm telling you right now, today, you can bookmark this at 1 hour and 8 minutes in. Barry said they're never going to find them. And Barry's 100% right, because I just got educated by somebody, and it's stunning. They're gone. They're never going to be found. And I say that confidently after talking to the Border Patrol agent who told me why they will never, ever be found. And it's 100% intentional. And I'm dancing around here because I can't say a lot of things, but it's 100% intentional that you will never, ever, ever find these kids ever again. Be prepared when I drop this interview tomorrow. You're probably going to end up crying. I'm talking to the guy, and I'm like, oh my God. Let me go off camera. Wow. It was that bad. It was that bad. And nobody, and I'm talking to him, and I'm saying, this is the first time I'm hearing what you're saying. You are telling me that our government intentionally made it so we would never, ever find these kids. Tom Homan, fantastic guy. Probably got a crew of 100 guys who are ready to go look. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. And he knows it. He's just not ready to let all of you know it because it's devastating.
Makes a difference, Tom, if, and this is not confirmed, the FBI is not sharing anything publicly right now about the source of these threats, who is making them. So we don't know if they were coming from domestic actors, foreign actors, but I talked with Trey earlier in the show about how Iran is being investigated and prosecuted now for threats against the incoming president's life. Will it make a difference, do you think, to how the U.S. government responds to these threats if they are coming from Americans or foreigners?
Oh, absolutely. I think that's our duty. I think we need to do that. I haven't received this level of threats in the last few days myself. So I'm shocked at what happened in the last 24 hours. Again, I haven't received that level of threat, but I think the government, if they find out it's coming from a foreign nation, of course we got to respond to them. This is unacceptable for Republican or Democrat. I mean, no one that serves their country should be under threat. I mean, this is the second time I come back from retirement because I'm a border guy. The border's out of control. This is the biggest national security threat in our nation's history. So the president asked me to serve. I'm going to serve with pride and dignity. So I think we need to have a strong response once they find out who's behind all this. Absolutely, it's illegal to threaten someone's life, and we need to follow through with that.
Well, we wish you all the best.
The other day I posted a video about one of the women who was in Washington for that event, and they put that woman in jail for 14 days for taking pictures walking around inside the Capitol. These people are making death threats, and our FBI is AWOL. Absolutely AWOL.
And your family over the holidays. We hope that this gets put to rest pretty quickly. And thank you for taking time with us today, sir.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, it is interesting to hear him say we're going to control the narrative. Arguably, the narrative that they put out there was something that landed with an awful lot of voters. But what is your expectation, Sam, for how...
It landed with an awful lot of voters. I'm not on this panel, but I would have been like, well, why doesn't it bother you? Or you? Or you? Or you? Or you? Why doesn't it bother you? Why is it okay?
All of this is going to unfold?
Well, it could be pretty bad, honestly. We've already seen confrontations, rhetorical for now, between local mayors, specifically the one in Denver, and the incoming Trump administration, Tom Homan in specific, in which Homan basically said, I'm comfortable arresting the mayor of Denver if he gets in the way of this mass deportation movement. If that's controlling the narrative, as he says, then that's the narrative they want. I'm not sure how that actually goes to their benefit, but that's where we're at. I suspect that in the first couple of weeks, we'll see this move fairly rapidly. This is the sort of backbone campaign promise that Trump was making throughout the election season. It's been a sort of consistent ideological thread throughout his time in political office. And this is where many of his top aides, Stephen Miller among them, have decided they want to focus a lot of their early energies. So I expect fairly early on, we're going to see some dramatic action and potentially really peaked in violent confrontation.
Trump's new borders are, Tom.
Is there nobody on the left, media or otherwise, is there nobody who cares what has happened? Are you so secure in your little bubbles in New York and Washington, D.C. that you don't care? I can't even fathom this. I feel like we're living in two different alternate realities. They don't even see it. Either that or they've been told not to talk about it. Pretend like it doesn't exist. Who knows? It's just boogeymen that Trump's making up.
Homan has said that he is willing to arrest leaders like yourself for standing in the way of these policies that they want to enact. Would you be willing to go to jail for these things?
Yeah, I'm not afraid of that. And I'm also not seeking that. I think the goal is we want to be able to negotiate with reasonable people how to solve hard problems.
What do you want to negotiate? I watched that interview like 2 or 3 times, and as he's talking, I'm willing to go to jail. You're willing to basically get yourself arrested, be away from your family, not getting the income you're supposed to be getting, putting them in peril for a newcomer. And then you want to negotiate with the federal government about newcomers. Why? I look at these reporters and I'm like, what? Won't you just ask these people that one question? What's the big deal? Why are you so dead steadfast have to do this? You're willing to go to jail. Jail. To protect these people.
You would encourage people to protest.
I think we're going to look at every option. But yeah, I don't think that there are, I talked to some high school kids this week who were terrified about this. I don't think those kids are going to stand there and watch 3 of their classmates get pulled out of a history class with the other 27 stand by and do nothing.
Did you hear what he just said? This dude is advocating for high school kids. The indoctrination at that level. These people are crazy. Absolutely nuts. So what you want to see happen is if the ICE comes into the high school, which they probably wouldn't, and says, I want to see those 3 kids, we need to talk to them. You're telling the kids, other kids in the school, y'all need to rise up and freak out. Why? If the kid broke into the house next door and he wasn't, a newcomer, would that be a problem? Or you don't want him ever? You're teaching kids to be idiots. You're growing an entire legion of nuts. That's what you want these kids to do? Protest because someone's done something illegal?
I don't think that's what Denverites or Americans would do in this context at all.
What is your line?
Tom, you heard this mayor out there in Colorado. I want to get your reaction to it, and I want you to be clear about who has jurisdiction, the federal government or state and local governments. And if you're a sanctuary state or city, are you breaking the law?
You're absolutely breaking the law. All you have to do is look at Arizona versus U.S. You'll see these breaking the law. But look, me and the Denver mayor, we agree on one thing. He's willing to go to jail. I'm willing to put him in jail.
Oof.
Because there's a statute. It's Title 8 United States Code 1324 III. And what it says is, it's a felony if you knowingly harbor and conceal an illegal alien from immigration authorities. It's also a felony to impede a federal law enforcement officer. So if we don't want to help, that's fine. He can get the hell out of the way. But we're going to go do the job. President Trump has a mandate for American people. We got to secure this country. We got to save American lives. And I find it shocking that any mayor of a city would say, President Trump's been clear. We want to concentrate on public safety threats and national security threats. I find it hard to believe that any mayor or governor would say they don't want public safety threats removed from their neighborhoods. I mean, I don't know what the hell is going on in Denver, but we're going to go and we're going to fix it. If you don't want to fix it, if you don't want to protect his communities, President Trump and ICE will.
Oof.
We could actually go to the...
So I took that. Ooh, that was actually her on air when she heard that. She completely freaked out when she heard that, what Tom Homan just said. You want to go to jail? I'll put you in jail. Ooh, yeah, that's what it's all about. That's what it's about, Casey Hunt from CNN. It is that bad. Did you go, ugh, when you heard about Lake and Riley? Did you hear about Eddie, Jocelyn? Did you go, ugh, when you heard about those stories? Or just because, he wants to go ahead and get these people out of here? There's something not working. There's a switch that didn't happen. Either I don't have it or they don't have it. Because I don't understand how you could possibly be looking at this any other way than, yes, they need to go. I don't know if they'll let this video stay up. Who knows? But it's amazing to me how cut and dry this is. The fact that you snuck in, you already broke the law. No debate. The fact that they gave you a notice to appear and you didn't appear, you broke the law. Forget all the loss of life and bad things that have happened. Just the fact that you exist in that area means you broke the law. If I were Tom Homan, I would make Denver or whatever city this guy is ground zero. We're going to set up camp right here. Because you just told me, every one of these mayors that are out there chirping, you just told me that's where the fight is. My guys can't wait to get into the fight. Let's go, boys. Let's show them who's got what. I want him to try and step up when we start cleaning up. Put it right to them. Mayor of Boston, mayor of this city, mayor of that city, governor, go right to the ones that are complaining. I would do that if I were him.
Workplace and enforce immigration laws. We had it once before, but this president took it all away from all the sheriffs across the country. We house prisoners here. There's two 287Gs, one to hold prisoners, one to go out and enforce immigration laws. We were trained, we had the certification, and President Biden's administration took it all away from us. We're going to get that back. We've been in contact with ICE. So it gives us the authority to go out into the community, to go to the workplace, enforce these laws, and help the federal government do their job. And we're happy. We're getting geared up. We're making jail space available. And one thing I know about illegal immigration, I've been doing this 20 years, is when you start going out and enforcing and apprehending people that are here illegally and enforcing the laws where people work in these factories illegally, we've got citizens. I had a lady that came to me and was given information where these places are all over the United States. Sheriffs, there's 3,300 sheriffs in the United States. Each county, it's easier to deal with one local law enforcement in each county as it is thousands and thousands of police departments.
Well, as Sarah said, look,
some of these guys, they mean business. I mean, I'm looking at that guy in that cowboy hat in Ohio, and they can't wait. They've been handcuffed by Dementia Joe. They have been told, you can't do anything. You do not have the power. Only I do. I am the president. I control what happens here. And these guys have been salivating, going, we know exactly where they are. They're not even hiding. See, that's the other thing. It's not like you're going to have to need a mongoose or something to go sniff them out. We know exactly where they are. But they know we can't touch them. And because they know, they basically do what they want anytime they want and snub their nose up at us. We do not have the authority until January 20th. And so is it going to get messy? Only way it gets messy, it's on you. Not you. I'm talking about them. If you understand when the knock on the door comes, the game's over, the ride has come to abrupt halt, time to go. That's why I think we're going to see a mass exodus. Nobody wants to be put in cuffs. I'm sure there are some good people who got wrapped up in a bad situation here. Okay, we're going to start it over. Now, if I came across and I did it the wrong way, I would, before they came, before January 20th came, I would head back. I'd find a hotel or something near the border. And I would say, excuse me, sir, what's the proper way for me to seek asylum? And then you would be told, and then, you go through the steps, the process. Because if they catch you, here's what's going to happen. Number one, they're going to cuff you up. Number two, you're going to spend a couple nights in the pokey until they have enough people to transport. Number three, you're probably going to stay there longer than you thought because some people are going to complain and want to sue. Meanwhile, you'll be in the pokey. And then when Trump's guys do get the order, because it's not even it's not even gray, it's black and white, and they decide they've got to take you all the way back. Remember, some of these people have been flown all over the country. So now you're in custody this entire time. Let's say you're in Denver. You're going to have to get flown all the way back to whatever point of entry you came. The entire time locked up like a barn animal, which they're going to complain about. Then you're going to get marched in foot irons over to the border, and then they're going to take it off and go have at it. I wouldn't want to go through that ordeal. I mean, you're probably talking 3 or 4 days in custody and everything else. Meanwhile, if you came over with some other boys, or maybe even your wife, and they didn't catch her, you guys got caught at different times, it'd be a nightmare. So I would say, hey, listen, honey, it ain't working out. They're going to come for us. Okay, let's head back. That would be smart. Absolutely smart.
Governor Abbott, we're not waiting until January 20th. I've been on to Texas. We're already meeting. We're planning how we can work together to help Texas, secure their border at the highest level ever. He's done a great job. Illegal immigration in Texas is down 86%, because he put in place a lot of Trump's policies, right? He's building border barriers like President Trump did. He's adding consequences to those who cross the border illegally. He's arresting with trespass. And people need to understand DPS has done a lot. Not only is Governor Abbott's action protecting Texas, they're protecting the United States, because most of these illegal aliens aren't staying in Texas. They're moving out of the country. Every ounce of fentanyl this trooper sees is less overdose deaths. Every person they arrest for trespass is one less getaway. So they get fingerprinted, they get vetted. At least we know they're not terrorists. But we're going to follow that model across the southwest border. But
I want to stop you there, because notice what he said there. We need to find out who they are, get fingerprinted, do all this stuff. Do you realize that many, many, many of these people aren't even given fingerprints? Again, this is part of the conversation I had with the border agent, and I just sat there going, you have got to be kidding me. I'm like, nope. They call it biometrics, and so many of them don't have the biometrics, which tells you it's been intentional.
The plan is, and I've been very vocal about this, we're going to contract as much work out as we can. Work that doesn't require a badge and a gun, because I need badges and guns on the street to do the deportation operation. So when it comes to driving bus transportation, whether it's ground or air, whether it's processing, whether it's some other administrative duties, contract that work out. Because right now we got badges and guns doing that work. Get them out of that administrative work, put more on the street, and that's what we're going to do. And if these sanctuary states and cities keep pushing back, I'll have the extra resources to double manpower in those sanctuary cities. Because if we can't arrest a bad guy in the jail with one agent, it means I got to send a whole team out in the field to find this person. And for officer safety reasons, we need a whole team rather than just one person. So this is the plan we're putting together, and Governor Abbott's come to the table. He's the first one to come to the table, and I accepted it and shook his hand and said, let's go. Let's move forward. Let's do it.
Expect mass protests in response to mass deportations?
I do, but I also don't expect mass deportations. I think that it sounds good and they look like the tough guys, and we know that that has really been their brand, is to basically look like the bullies that they are. But, you know, when you start to get into the nitty gritty and start to talk about details, that's when they're like, well, we didn't realize this or that, or even.
She thinks Tom Homan doesn't know the details, huh? Oh boy, this is Jasmine Crockett. I don't know how she ever got elected, but you think that Tom Homan doesn't know the details. Good luck with that.
When you start to talk about the cost, when we start to ramp up what the cost will look like for us to actually effectuate this, but then also look at the cost to our economy, I just don't really see it happening.
All right, so let me just remind you, because she talked about the cost. She brought it up. So I would just love to ask her, if I was Miss Television host, is it going to cost $151 billion? I mean, just let us know. You know, we're nuts. We're maggots. We don't understand how it all works. But tell me, is the price tag $151 billion plus lives? In that regard, you must have an answer. It's simple. Are we going to spend $151 billion to deport all these people? Or are you just talking out your butt saying it's going to affect our economy and people won't be able to pick lettuce? Yeah, to me, that's even racist.
As the mayor pointed out, he talked about those service workers and things like that. And someone who serves on the agriculture committee, I can tell you that I have talked to countless farmers that talk about the need for these migrant workers. So listen, unless your viewers are planning to send their kids to school so that they can go and work on the farms, then God bless, we can make sure that we keep American agriculture going. But the reality,
you see what she's doing here, right? And what many on the left have been doing. They've been advocating for basically slavery. You know, unless you're going to go pick some, lettuce or something, we need these people. That's what they're good for. You know, the whole entire thing about immigration, my dad specifically, I tell you, was to contribute and be a standing member of society, learning English, understanding our laws, be productive. You're telling me we need 20 million people to pick lettuce? 20 million? You don't think that, legally we could get enough people to pick lettuce and grapes? You guys don't make any sense, none whatsoever.
Is that is not who's been working the farms in recent years. It has been these migrants. When we look at our hospitality, it has been migrants. When we look at the restaurant workers, it has been migrants. And so, when we start to look at the cost, not only coming directly out of our pocket to effectuate this, but also the cost to our economy, I just don't think that they're going to do it. And ultimately, he'll blame it on somebody else, or we're all supposed to forget.
Okay, all right, so she bandied about cost, but she never talked about cost. She doesn't even know what costs are. Now this I'm going to show you is Kathy Hochul. Kathy Hochul from New York. And what she's about to say here is going to blow your mind.
Rebecca. Governor, First Blakeman in Nassau County has said Nassau County is not a sanctuary county. We're going to cooperate with ICE. Do you have any plans on, ways that the state might approach the president's plans for mass deportation? Is New York as a whole, under your leadership, a sanctuary state? And I believe that there's a coalition of governors akin to your climate leadership governor coalition focused on protecting immigrants. Is that something that you'd consider joining?
Well, I would say this. Our immigration system is woefully broken. It's been broken for decades. There was an opportunity to make meaningful change that the Republicans in the House of Representatives killed.
She's talking about that fake border law that we know all about.
And they should be held accountable for that. But we need to fix the border, fix the system. But I'll tell you this. Those who come here legally, we want to get them jobs. I
agree with that. If you come here legally, we should you're going to be productive.
460,000 open jobs in the state of New York. I want them to get the proper work permits. I want them to keep their temporary protective status, if that's what they have. I want to make sure that they're part of contributing to society while they're here. That's separate from people who are criminals. Someone breaks the law, I'll be the first one to call up ICE and say, get them out of here. So there is a difference in categories of individuals. And so I just had a meeting this morning with my team that's been studying all the scenarios that could play out over the next few months and what we need to do to prepare. We'll be announcing more about that. And also making sure that our final requests to the Biden administration are secure. And so that's something else, again, I'll do a report on what we've achieved in the next couple of weeks.
So just to be clear, are you supportive or not supportive of deporting undocumented immigrants whose only crime is either crossing the border or overstaying?
Whoa. Did you hear the question as she posed it? Whose only crime? The reporter asked the question, are you in favor of deportation for those people whose only crime is that they came across illegally? So you've just admitted to the world that they committed a crime. But you just blew past it because that's not a big deal. That's their only crime that you know of.
They're here with legal papers, like they came and they're seeking asylum, like the 224,000 people came to New York. They're here legally in search of asylum. And that process will play out. But there are other people who commit crimes or are known to be criminals before they arrive here. When those are identified, I'll be the first one to help get rid of them. I don't want them here. I don't want anybody terrorizing my citizens.
I'll tell you this, they don't have to help us, but they need to get the hell out of the way because we're coming and we're going to do it. Which means if I got to send twice as many resources that sanctuary city, twice as many agents, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I've been saying for the last several days that they need to study the law. They cannot help, but don't impede us and don't cross certain lines. There's a statute under Title 8 United States Code 1324 that talks about harboring and concealing an illegal alien, knowingly harboring and concealing an illegal alien from ICE. They need to read that statute and become familiar with it because if they cross that line, there will be consequences. So, look, we're prepared to take action, but I hope they come to the table and realize we are prioritizing the worst of the worst first. Help us do that. Help yourself make your community safer. That's what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Told you. I want to show you something about what Kathy Hochul just said. This is stunning. Bombshell report. ICE reveals New York City is now home to over 58,000 criminal newcomers, including more than 1,000 gang members, according to the New York Post. There are more than 58,000 newcomers in New York City who have been convicted of crimes or are facing criminal charges, with nearly 670,000 across the United States, according to new data acquired by the Post. As of November 17th, there were 759,000 newcomers residing in New York City as tracked by federal authorities. Of this number, a significant 59,000 had either been convicted of offenses or were facing criminal charges based on information from U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Among these 58,000 individuals with criminal backgrounds, 1,000 are classified as suspected or confirmed gang members, according to the same data. 59,000 just in New York City. They're going to be busy. Very busy. So what does it cost to house and help these people just in New York City? The city of New York pays $220 million to rent the entire Roosevelt Hotel in Manhattan to house the newcomers. The hotel is owned by the government of Pakistan. Let that sink in. And the deal was part of a $1.1 billion IMF bailout package to help Pakistan avoid defaulting on their international debt. I want you to just think about that for a second. Prior to this sweetheart deal, the hotel had been closed since 2020, having long struggled with occupancy and in dire need of renovation. So, this hotel got a $1.1 billion bailout package to help Pakistan and is now getting $220 million, I think that's per year, to rent to newcomers. When they dig in and they find out how these NGOs have manipulated our American government and where these funds are going and who's getting some of this stuff, I think people are going to be absolutely shocked. The Pakistani government is getting paid $220 million. So it's not even an American company that's even profiting. So what an easy way to launder money is to say, you know what, we can't give it through the front channel to Pakistan. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this hotel exclusively for newcomers. And we're going to give them $220 million to go ahead and house the newcomers. But who owns it? Oh, Pakistan owns it. Really? Really? Is that how bad it is? Yes, that's how bad it is. And it's probably going to be even worse once people start digging into it. Tom Homan said this, breaking, this is today at 10 a.m., the Trump administration will investigate the Biden administration, the United Nations, and various NGOs for alleged roles in causing the border crisis. People are going to be held accountable. I'll let you read that again. The Biden administration, the United Nations, and various NGOs for their alleged roles in this border crisis. And you got one right there, $220 million to rent this hotel specifically for newcomers by some NGO in Pakistan. We have no idea where our money has gone. We have no accountability for any of it. They have taken your money and shipped it all over the world for no benefit to you, solely for the benefit of foreign countries, foreign people, foreign newcomers, and you just have to keep paying for it. And meanwhile, Trump's talking about tariffs with Canada and Mexico, and you're bitching about guacamole prices. One hotel in one city in the country, $220 million went to pay for that. And they're trying to tell you it's a bad thing, that, we can't get into a trade war. We can't possibly do that, because if we do that, it's not good. People, you're going to have to pay more for your groceries. You just gave a hotel in New York City $220 million. Nobody's talking about that. I can't imagine how many tens and hundreds of millions have been spent. That's probably why the guy in Denver is willing to go to jail. Hey, how much federal money are you getting in Denver to put these people here? Start doing that. Start digging and following the money. Where did you get the money to house these people in your area? Where did you get the money for your area? Oh, so all you people getting paid on the American dime. You know there's some politicians that are somewhere in that paperwork getting it cut as well. And they're trying to sell you on MSNBC and CNN and where all the other ones that somehow you having to, be troubled with increased avocado and guacamole prices. You shouldn't want Trump to do what he's getting ready to do. That's how stupid they think the American people are. And they think that because they've gotten away with it for so long. For so long, they've been grifting off of us, taking our money. She wanted to raise taxes higher. Imagine that. You weren't paying enough. This 151 billion, that was peanuts. We needed more. We spent 200 billion over in that country over there with Zelensky. So you're talking at least 350, 400 billion dollars of your money out of your pocket wasn't going to be enough, and she had to tax you some more. To the point where, you know what? Let's tax unrealized capital gains, but I don't have the money. Yeah, but you might. So we're going to have to tax all that as well. And then the one guy on MSNBC saying, we need to double down and make sure we keep doing this. Huh? If you publicize what you're doing now, you'd never win an election again. You see, that's why we have to be the media, because what you're seeing, and probably some of the stuff I've shown you, you've probably never seen before. Everything these people are doing is to concoct some sort of, I won't even say the word narrative, some dream world to make the American people feel stupid. That your jeans are going to be more expensive? Oh, can you imagine? Your sweater might be more expensive? Oh, really? That you have to buy a $50,000 car, but now it's going to be $62,000 because he's making Canada and Mexico step up to the plate, but never mention what we're already paying? That's fraud, man. That's absolutely fraudulent. Yes, the mayor in Springfield is also working with a Catholic charity who's getting grant money for it. Yeah, absolutely. So much corruption. So much. That's why they know if Trump can do even half of what he wants to do, how much more prosperity would come into this country. It's insane. Thanks, Barry. Knowing all this is helpful. And again, this is stuff that you can verify. You don't take my word for it. Go look. And if you ever do decide to tune into those stations, watch how they never tell you the other side. Oh, your food's going to go up. Okay, what is this going to go up? No, this is probably going to go way down. We're not going to be spending 150 billion, are we? Oh, and we're not going to be spending 200 billion over there, are we? Nope. So basically on January 20th, what you're saying is we're about to save up to like 350 billion, and Vivek and Elon haven't even cut anything. We're just going to stop the bleeding here. Hey, no more this newcomer money and no more money to that war, and we're going to save 350 billion or so? Seriously? You know what I call that?
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning, and you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
You've been on a treadmill. I've been on a treadmill. We've been hamsters. We're just out there doing what we do. Let's see if we can make some money, and we'll get something, chasing the carrot. Meanwhile, they're cranking out the money for somebody else. They made fools of us. You're working 3, 4, 5, 6 months of the year just to pay taxes. And then when you realize, well, Trump's talking about no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, maybe no tax on anything, it must make their heads want to explode, the fact that they can't just keep stealing from us. That there has to be some accountability. It's crazy. The government doesn't ask your permission to spend your money. They just go ahead and do it without asking we the people. Nothing. It's crazy. Stop forgetting about Fred. I don't know what that means. Make avocados expensive again. Yeah, I don't care if I eat another California with an avocado in it ever again. I don't care. More, please. More winning. Yeah, absolutely. All right, everybody. The dog needs to go out, so I need to cut it here. Let me first get to our Twitter group. I'd like you guys to head over and see if you'd like to join. Go to fansfairshop.org/group. I think it's like 11,300 or so people right now joining. And I understand. I'm talking to the people at Twitter. I'm trying to do some different things. Twitter has made it so that my live streams can only be chatted to or talked to by verified people. I've got a message into support, so I apologize about that. We're working on it. Then also today, because there's no show tonight, we're going to give away some hoodies. Let's give away 3 hoodies. Ashley's on vacation. I'm not sure if she's in the chat, but we're going to go ahead and give away these 3 hoodies. Boom. Let me pull this up so everybody can see it. And here we go. Okay, here we go. All right, the first person to win a hoodie will be, and randomly pick, Dale Pierce. Dale Pierce, you have won a Trump hoodie. Let's pick another winner. Go back to live draw. Do it again. Nancy Roan. Nancy, Nancy Roan. And we'll do it one more time. And Doreen Besso. Doreen Besso is the next winner. So thank you for playing. By the way, if you would like to sign up and get registered to win, you only have to do it once. Once you're in the database, you're in there. Go to fanfareshop.org to enter to win, and you only have to sign up one time. Once you sign up, your name is in there. I'm going to begin probably after the first of the year, maybe before that. We're going to actually have a newsletter going out right now, because the newsletter is going to really help, because I know YouTube doesn't do a lot with notifications. A lot of people miss it, and so the email will go out and say, hey, there's a list, here's some videos that you may have missed, and you can click on a button and just watch a video. Let me know how you like that, if you think that's going to be okay, because our mailing list right now is up to 20,000 plus. So there's a lot of people in there, and I know the notifications just don't do. Where was the drum rolls? You're right. I forget. You guys are on it, man. You are definitely on it. I forgot to do the drum rolls. I'm sorry, Tommy. Tommy Lawrence made that for me, so we'll do that. We'll definitely get that next time. That, and I got to get Tommy Radcliffe's guitar solo back out again. People keep asking for that. So let me go ahead and do super chats real quick here. We go. This is from the Demon of Cybertron. Cartels own the avocado business. Yeah, I'm okay not eating cheap avocados to cripple their money. Yeah, I could find something else with it. Hi, Tanya Nguyen. Thank you very much. Expect the unexpected. Okay, this is from, I hope it's not El Chapo, but Chapo. It will cost less to deport them all than keeping them on welfare and Medicare. Yep. Never mind the loss of life. You're absolutely. Wow. Tanya Nguyen, thank you again. Thank you very, very much. I have to put this one up. I have never spent $80 for a pair of jeans or a car of $50,000 or a phone for $500. Never once in my life. Like if that's the argument that they're using, they're in big trouble because that doesn't make any sense. Super chat, Ernest Walker. Barry, you need that. Ooh, for a soundbite. You're talking about the one from Casey Hunt. Yes, I will keep that. Wow, Tanya, thank you again. Wow. Amen for Tom Homan. Absolutely. Ernest Walker. Dems need to be held accountable for the deaths of all these children. Not counting, never even mentioning it. They don't, it's, you can't even talk about it. I can't even imagine how many of them must be tied up and stuff. I don't even know what they'll do to this video. So thank you for the super chats because they may say, nope, can't, no ads. God bless you and your family. Love your show. Thank you, Ryzen Phoenix. Thank you very much. Patricia Franklin, thank you very much. I think I'm on next page. Okay, here we go. Next page. Greg Bath says, I bought $100 Bitcoin the day after the election. So far, it's doing great. One of the other interviews I have in a can is with a Bitcoin expert. We're going to do a video. I think I can post it here. I don't think it'll be a problem. And then once you see that video, we're going to do a live video after the first of the year. See, Meatballs Buddy, this is for you. Very blessings to you and your family. Thank you very much. Somebody talked about calling Lear Capital and the minimum is $5,000. You don't have to do it that way. If you go on their website, you can buy much smaller increments. So if you just bypass the call, or if you just call and get the information, but then actually buy on the website, it is going to be much cheaper. Much cheaper. Maybe I should do that and show you a tutorial. Nick Esselman, thank you very much for all you do. With much love from Wisconsin. Please go Pack, go. Sorry I had to do it. Man, the Dolphins look like crap. Absolute crap. It's cold weather, folded. B. Guerrero, Barry, I want you to know that the only time I listen to those media is with you. Some people ask me, why do you show this stuff? Because I think it's important to see what they're doing to people. Why are they shaving their heads? Why are they acting crazy? What would cause Rob Reiner to delete his Twitter account and go check himself into a mental institution? What's wrong? Because they're listening to this all day long. And they can't even fathom, how did Trump win? He was a fascist, and you people are garbage and maggots, and oh my God, if you won in a landslide, how could that possibly happen? Because you were being lied to. Wake up. Come to the real reality of things. Everything you saw was a game. There should be no polling industry in 2026. Make them go away. The first time I see a poll, other than the ones that actually make sense, just laugh at them. And I was showing it to you the whole time. I was doing a polling show, and I'm like, this is bad. They're absolutely lying to people. That's why I was so convinced early that it was going to be a landslide, and I would tell you guys that. Tamra, saved by God, by grace. Thank you for all you do, Barry. Bless your family and mods. Thank you. If you never watched any of those videos I did on the polling, I dug deep and I showed you how BS they are. So I will never take another pollster from the left ever seriously again. Like that lady who said, "Oh, Trump's down by 3 in Iowa." Yeah, good luck with that. David Cummings, drill baby, drill, absolutely. Let's see here. This is from Larry 1754. I want to know what's going on in Antarctica. Why a no-fly zone? What's there that they don't want us to know about? Not only would they demonetize this video, they'd probably flip the switch if we start talking about Antarctica. That's going to have to be a Rumble-only video. Love God first. Thank you, Barry and team. I so appreciate this channel for getting me through times of uncertainty and continuing to provide true information. Thank you very much. And again, I urge you to look at stuff yourself as well. Yeah, Wyra May, thank you, Barry, for exposing the truth. Keep up the good work and Godspeed. Thank you very much. Just another knucklehead, brother. Please stop showing me lefty media. Geez, why are you supporting them? Stop, I have to leave. Don't leave. You have to know how it's sort of like a game film. You got to watch the other team, so you can understand what they're doing, how they're strategizing, what they're saying to people. So when you meet them in the public and you see them, you know what's gone on with them. Newcomers will soon be called new goers. Bye bye, Felicia. Yep, I agree with that. Jocelyn Dutcher said, "Yeah, I never had a pair of $80 jeans either." I mean, I know they're out there, but I would never spend it. It's crazy. Buy American MAGA from No Name. Thank you very much. I would never ever spend it. Let me just make sure that I haven't gone the wrong way. Click the bottom here. Okay. Mark of reality. So if all jeans go from 80 to 96, their math, but we eliminate income taxes, then the government is getting the same money. Why do we care that it's raised by income? You're making too much sense. We can way too much sense. Reports have come out and said over the past 4 years, immigration has been almost $1 trillion. They'll never talk about that. They'll never, ever talk about it. MSNBC from GW, MSNBC is one reason Democrats are confused. They think it's news. They don't realize they're being force-fed pablum. It's that bad. Let me say I never paid $50 for a sweater. I've paid $50 for a sweater. I have to say that. I've paid $50 for a sweater. Let's see, let me just keep going here. Oh, okay. It highlights where they are. Just make sure I got everybody, because sometimes I miss people, and then I get emails. Hey, you missed my super chat. Just another knucklehead. Tariffs. The car example is too low. I thought Trump was going to do 50, 100, 200% to keep the foreign cars out of America. Yeah, exactly. Fernando Cardenas. Tariffs will have an impact, yes, but things will resolve by themselves. Yeah, exactly. Again, nobody's making you buy this stuff. Thank you, Ronald Zimmerman. And I think I got one more. Ronald Zimmerman again. Barry, you do a great job. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much. I try to make it simple, so not because people are stupid, but just so you can see and hear specifically how they slant things and how they try to make it. I think then. Dana, what platform well, so far I posted two interviews. One with a pastor, great interview. One with a former person who was incarcerated because of what happened in Washington. And then the Border Patrol will be on Rumble only tomorrow. Let's see here. From Neo, MJ, forever unbreakable. The prayers for the lost children. May they rest in eternal peace. I just want you to know, I did see somebody who said that they won't watch the border interview. You can watch it. It's not graphic. So I didn't want you to think that we talked about some really, really graphic stuff. It's just information. And the information that you will hear is probably going to, like I said, it'll make you cry, make you upset. But it's not graphic. Don't go into. Nobody needs to know the graphicness. Your mind can take you there. When you find out what's happening to these kids, your mind will take you to the graphic part, and that's up to you to shut down. I don't talk about graphically what happened with these kids. No, wouldn't do that to you. All right, have a great Saturday evening. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you tomorrow at about 3:30.